If you're watching this video right now, pay close attention to this. At this very moment, families are living today, in the age of smartphones, who pay 0 reais, $0, 0 cents of electricity bills, not because they steal energy, but because they dominate 5 Amish tricks. These are tricks that still work today in 2026, and that practically no one teaches anymore. These aren't just theories from a dusty old textbook. They are practices used by Amish communities right now, while the rest of the world sees its electricity bill rise month after month. The trick number 5 is by far the most powerful. It has already helped families cut more than 80% of their home energy consumption. Keep this number in mind, 5, because I'm going to build it with you, step by step. If you leave before then, you'll miss the most important piece. Stick with me until the end. This can literally change how your home uses energy for the rest of your life. Imagine a family in rural Pennsylvania, in the middle of January, with snow covering everything. The temperature plummets and the wind cuts your face. In any normal house, this means electric heaters on full blast and lights left on all day. The bill would be frightening. Except in that particular house, none of that happens. The water comes out lukewarm from the tank because it was heated the day before. Daylight enters through the windows exactly where needed. At night, a small energy reserve from a solar panel illuminates the essentials. This family didn't perform magic. They applied the 5 tricks I'm going to teach you, and none of them depend on living in the countryside. Amish communities don't live without electricity because they are backward. They made a conscious decision to depend as little as possible on external systems. While the world built lives around the power outlet, the Amish developed parallel solutions. Gadgets, adaptations, and habits for over 100 years. In 2026, energy prices keep rising. Red flags, tariffs, and taxes. Every month is an unpleasant surprise in your bank app. You don't need to become Amish to apply this. You just need to apply the logic behind each trick to your home, the way it is today. Trick number 1, the ice-packed refrigerator. Did you know the refrigerator is responsible for up to 30% of all electricity consumed in a home? Amish families use an ice box. It's a thermally insulated compartment filled with sawdust or straw where a block of ice is placed on top. Natural ice blocks are collected in winter from frozen lakes and stored in ice houses. These structures keep ice solid even through the summer. You can adapt this by using a well-insulated cooler and ice, changing it every few days. Think about that second refrigerator you only use for drinks. Unplug it permanently. Replace it with an iced version. There's also the root cellar, a space buried in the backyard where soil temperature stays stable. The cold of nature already exists for free. We stopped using it because it became easier to press a button, but easier comes at a price. Let me give you a practical example of how this translates into your daily life, even if you live in a big city. If you have a second refrigerator, an extra freezer, or even an electric wine cooler that only stores drinks, ask yourself, does this appliance really need to be on 24 hours a day, 365 days a year? Often the answer is no. A good quality cooler with ice replenished every 2 or 3 days perfectly fulfills the function of keeping drinks cold without electricity. It seems like a small detail, but add that up over an entire year, and the financial impact is real. And there's one more point that most people ignore. The fuller your refrigerator is, the more efficient it is. This is because food helps maintain a stable temperature, reducing the compressor's workload. The Amish, with their always well-organized and full underground pantries, apply this principle without even knowing the technical name for it. If your electric refrigerator is practically empty, it's working much harder than it needs to, and that also shows up on your bill. Now, if trick number 1 alone can reduce your bill by up to 30%, imagine what happens when we add the other 4. And look, the next item deals with something hanging from your ceiling right now that you probably never thought to question. Trick number 2, light that never costs anything, smart ventilation and natural lighting. Here's a straightforward question. How many lights are on in your house? Why use artificial light even when it's daytime outside? Most people keep turning on artificial lights in broad daylight, in rooms that could be perfectly illuminated with natural light. Amish homes follow a simple principle, solar orientation. Windows are strategically positioned to capture maximum sunlight during the day. Modern buildings completely ignore this principle, prioritizing aesthetics or construction cost over energy efficiency. But here's the secret. You don't need to renovate your house to apply this. There are simple and inexpensive adaptations. First, skylights and solar tubes. These devices capture light from the roof and distribute it inside windowless rooms like hallways or pantries. Second, and perhaps even simpler, curtains and light-colored surfaces strategically positioned. A light-colored wall, a well-placed mirror facing a window, can multiply the amount of natural light that spreads throughout an entire room. Third, and this is a habit, Amish families organize their daily routine around the sunlight, not against it. They wake with the sunrise and finish strenuous activities near sunset, making the most of natural light for sewing, cooking, and cleaning. This drastically reduces the reliance on artificial lighting at night because much of the heavy visual work has already been done. How many rooms in your house have the lights on for hours every day without real need, just out of habit? Amish houses are painted inside in light colors, white, beige, pastel, precisely because these colors reflect much more light than dark colors. And just wait until trick number 3, because it involves one of the most energy-consuming appliances. The Amish solution seems like a joke. Trick number 3, a hot shower without using a single watt, water heating. Electric shower. That word makes many break out in a cold sweat when the bill arrives, especially in winter. The first method is a low-cost solar water heater, an insulated box, painted black inside, with a glass top and a metal coil. On sunny days, this water can easily exceed 50 or 60 degrees Celsius, more than enough for a hot bath or for washing dishes. The second method involves wood-burning stoves. While the Amish family cooks dinner, the same heat source is simultaneously heating water. This is cascading energy utilization, a single heat source being used for multiple purposes instead of several separate electrical sources. If you live in an apartment, listen up. There are compact and low-cost solar water heaters adaptable to balconies and small backyards. A shorter shower with preheated water is exponentially more economical than a long shower with cold water heated from scratch. If the water is already lukewarm when it arrives, the electrical effort and energy consumption plummets. Another detail worth highlighting. The Amish usually bathing at strategic times, generally in the late afternoon or early evening. The water heated by the sun throughout the day is at its hottest. This avoids waste and takes advantage of the passive solar system. Applying this logic, if you have a solar water heater or rely on an electric shower, showering when water is naturally warmer reduces strain. Have you noticed that, so far, each trick targets a different villain on your bill? The refrigerator, the light, the shower. Trick number 4 is about something most people don't realize is consuming energy all the time, silently, inside their homes. Trick number 4, the silent army of switched-off appliances. This refers to phantom consumption, energy consumed even when appliances are switched off. Television, microwave, router, washing machine, all of these, even when switched off, continue to draw a small amount of energy 24 hours a day. And here's why this trick is Amish. Amish communities live under a principle we call energetic intentionality. Nothing is left on by chance. Translating this into your reality, a power strip with a switch is your best friend. Cut power to multiple devices with a single gesture. A simple timer programmed to turn off the router between 1 a.m. and 6 a.m. reduces constant power consumption without impacting your routine. The lesson isn't about a specific device, it's about a mental habit. Ask yourself every day, does this really need to be on? Now take a deep breath for trick number 5. It is the most powerful method with the potential to eliminate dependence on the grid. Trick number 5. The method to never pay for electricity again. It's about producing your own energy independently and not depending on anyone else. The first pillar is small-scale autonomous solar panels used for specific needs. This is an isolated off-grid system that generates and stores energy. The second pillar is small-scale wind energy. Windmills adapted to charge batteries, supplementing solar energy on cloudy days or at night. The third pillar is consumption planning. An Amish home plans consumption based on available energy, using more during the day when the sun is out. You don't need to do it all at once. Start small. a portable solar panel with a battery bank for LED lighting and chargers. The Amish path isn't about rushing, it's about building, little by little, real and sustainable independence, one step at a time. When you add up all 5 tricks, the result is a structural change. It's the difference between paying dearly or never paying again. If you've made it this far, you're not just anyone watching another random video. You're someone who is genuinely tired of rising electricity bills. You are willing to learn from someone who, for over 100 years, has already solved this problem in practice. Let's recap the 5 Amish tricks. The ice refrigerator and the underground pantry preserve food without electricity. Then the intelligent use of natural light eliminates unnecessary lighting costs. Third, solar heating and firewood for hot water without a watt. Fourth, eliminating phantom consumption by cutting off the silent army of energy-sucking appliances. Finally, the most powerful, producing and storing your own energy. This is the true path to one day never paying for electricity again. Now I want to ask you, of all these 5 tricks, which one are you going to start applying today? Write the number below. I really want to read each answer. It helps me know what topics to cover in future videos about saving energy and living more independently. This lifestyle has much more practical wisdom than we usually give it credit for. If this video opened your mind, please give it a like. Subscribe to the channel because every week I bring content about survival, self-sufficiency, and old methods that have been proven to still work today. Remember, these aren't generic tips. These are real methods, tested by families who literally don't pay any electricity bills. Now, will you apply them? Will. The choice from now on is yours. Let me quickly tell you why this topic matters so much now in 2026. Energy prices show no sign of stopping their rise. Tariff adjustments and taxes have been accumulating, and the trend is not for improvement. Amish knowledge remains relevant because it doesn't depend on the government or utility companies. It only depends on you understanding and applying the principles. It's not about living like in the old days out of romanticism. It's about finding solutions proven effective and bringing them into your century. Every week I break down real, tested techniques without fluff. If you're not yet subscribed, join this community relearning to live with more freedom. Thank you for watching this far. You seek real solutions, not miracles, and that's exactly why this channel exists. See you in the next video.